the precious Dharma teaching. First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tengkung. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubdan Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today. Manichi Bodhisattva. Simu, Tansen Katso, Dutan City, all Dharma Masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon, how do you do? How do you do? Aisteru. Sarangi. Hola amigo. Te quiero mucho. Sugoi. Ichiban. Kimochi ii. Chumi. Yappy. Bling bling. Konnichiwa. Today is Marichi's birthday, and I know there's a disciple who happens to have his or her birthday today, and today is also Marichi's birthday. Let's sing a birthday song. The Indonesian birthday song. Selamat ulang tahun kami ucapkan. Selamat panjang umur kita akan doakan. Selamat sejahtera, sehat sentosa. Selamat panjang umur dan bahagia. Happy birthday, Marichi Bodhisattva, and everyone that has birthdays today. Happy birthday. I would like to announce next Sunday, November 1st, at 3 p.m. we will have the High King Guan Yin Avalokiteswara Bodhisattva Homa fire offering ceremony. The High King Guan Yin. We all know that our True Buddha school highly revere High King Sutra. All true Buddha school disciples have great affinity with the hiking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Everyone chants the hiking sutra. And I don't need to say more about the primary supplicants who wants to become primary supplicants. Who are the real primary supplicants? Because everyone have affinity with the hiking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. This Bodhisattva is also extremely takes care of our true Buddha school disciples. And his mantra is the karma eradication mantra of the seven Buddhas. That's the mantra, and this is the mudra of turning the Dharma wheel. Turning the Dharma wheel mudra. And the hiking Kuan Yin statue you have all seen. The hiking Kuan Yin statue. He's a tremendously great Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. And on his crown, he wears 7 Buddha crown. Very few who wear 7 Buddha crown. And on his body, there are the 7 Buddha's mantra characters. So, hiking Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, that's emanated from the 7 Buddhas. That's from the 7 Buddhas. And today is Marici Bodhisattva's birthday. And Marici Bodhisattva runs or moves very quickly in front of the sun or the Surya Deva. And he's a bodhisattva that always wins in battles. And she always wins over all battles. That's why she is referred as the mighty warrior Vajra. And her chariot was drawn by golden pigs, or her lotus throne. In Taoism, Marici Bodhisattva is called the goddess of the Big Dipper. She is in charge of all the stars, the sun, the moon, the Surya Deva, Chandra Deva, the 28 mansions, and all the constellations. She can change the destiny of every human being. And so Marici is in charge of the Big Dipper constellation, the 28 mansions, 36 heavenly spirits, the 72 earthly fiends, sky, canopy, the Surya Deva and Chandra Deva. So therefore, she is called the goddess of the Big Dipper. The Japanese ninja regards Marici as their patriarch. The calamities that can be eradicated is legal disasters, or political or governmental problems, or due to travel, if you're on trips in cars, planes, boats, and due to wars and weapons, and disasters due to poisons and toxins, it can be averted by Marici. Or our adversities and karmic creditors that especially try to harm you, and stealing, robbery, and thievery, natural disasters due to the earth, water, fire, and wind. Marici can protect from that, and also the disasters due to demons and evil spirits and ghosts. We will not be invaded by them. And disasters due to wild beasts like snakes, lions, tigers, and wolves. So we cannot talk about the primary supplicants anymore because it's past. So all the savage and wild beasts, like the bears, when the bear sees you, and because you're protected by the Marici, so the bear pretends not to see you. Lions walk by you and just sniff you and then left. And tiger, upon seeing you, would turn around and leave. And snakes too would coil itself, will not invade you. So those are disasters due to wild beasts. So she provides so much benefits. So when you read Marici Sutra, you would know how great her merits are. Next week, there'll be hiking Kuan Yin, or hiking Avalokitesvara. That's because at that time I met Golden Mother, and the abbot of that temple was a monk called Si Huineng. Si Huiling. His name was Si Huiling. And the ordained monk gave me a sutra. So the first sutra I ever encountered was the hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. And I memorized it. So the hiking sutra has the lineage of the True Buddha school. Now let me start with a joke. The police officer scolded the thief. Strange. Your arms and legs are complete, and why don't you do other things? Instead you become a thief. And the thief replied, but police officer, if I don't have arms and legs and I become a thief, then that would be strange. If I can become a thief without arms and legs. because the thief has one more hand than most of us. We often say that you have good hands and feet. Why do you become a thief? But actually, without arms and legs, how can you become a thief? Now, we will do the question and answer. From Indonesia, Fidelia, she asked, may we have our pets receive empowerment if we let them take refuge in Grandmaster? Yes, that's allowed. Because of the 6 paths of the humans, heavenly realm, humans, asura, hell, hungry ghosts, and animals, they all can take refuge in a true and authentic acharya. Can take a refuge in an authentic acharya endowed with virtues. Yes, you can let your pets receive empowerment. After the pets receive empowerment, they have received the connection or the affinity of taking refuge. That in the future, if they are being reborn as a human being, they would have affinity with the Buddha. Because they are considered sentient beings. So we can have the pets receive empowerment and to let them take refuge in Grandmaster. Malaysia, Lian Hua Jianwen asked, Grandmaster, a while back, a fellow disciple I knew passed away. It was during severe COVID, and we were prohibited from leaving the house, and all religious activities were also banned. Then I learned that his family did not do any rituals other than the simple gesture of lighting incense. This fellow disciple had once told me that he had completed 8 million recitations of the Root Guru mantra. And everyone quietly prayed to Grandmaster to deliver him. A few days later, when I was practicing at home, all of a sudden I saw him in front of me with his eyes wide open and kept yelling, Grandmaster did not come and deliver me. It's strange because Grandmaster was standing right in front of him. He could just follow Grandmaster. How come he didn't see Grandmaster? So Grandmaster, was my seeing true? I don't understand what had happened. Could you please explain? In these periods of time, that we have coronavirus, so things are done very simply, like you just use a straw mat and then wrap you around and just burn you. Even the loved ones cannot get close. In this world, it's very rare to have this kind of event. Grandmaster has lived for this long. I have never encountered this kind of pandemic. I believe all of you, it's the first time for all of you, for all of us, to encounter this kind of epidemic. The most touching or moving thing is the woman has got the coronavirus laying in her sick bed in the hospital, and it was surrounded by plastic cloth, and the boyfriend visited her, and he was wearing the protective outfit that looks like a space outfit, and the girlfriend was inside the protective. And when the boyfriend saw that, he took off all his protective gear and his mask and everything. And then he walked into the plastic covering. And then kissed his girlfriend. And finally, both died together. That scene was quite touching. That kind of love is a true love. Now back to the question. That's really moving, seeing that. There's a disciple who has completed 8 million recitation of the Guru mantra. And because of the COVID, this person, Lian Hua Jianwen, when he was practicing, kept yelling that Grandmaster did not come and deliver me. But Grandmaster was standing in front of him, but he did not see Grandmaster. Why? How could that be? Let me ask Golden Mother. So what had happened there? Golden Mother replied that this person who had chanted 8 million times of Root Guru mantra and Grandmaster was clearly standing right in front of him trying to deliver him, but he did not see Grandmaster. And the main reason was because he violated one of the 5 precepts, one of the 5 basic precepts. And that's a heavy karma, a grave precept. I did not want to say what precept he violated. So, because he violated the precept, it created an obstruction in front of you. So, therefore, you would not be able to see Grandmaster. Lian Hua Jianwen could see Grandmaster, but that other disciple could not because he had that obstruction. Because he violated the 5 basic precepts, which is not to kill, not to steal, not to have infidelity, not to lie, and not to get intoxicated. And intoxicated or getting alcohol is a light precepts that should not create obstruction. But if because of the lies, it created killing, it caused killing. So killing, stealing, and improper sexual conduct, infidelity can create obstructions. So this disciple had breached the precepts of not to kill, not to steal, and not to be infidel. So that's my answer to the first question. Typically, after chanting 8 million times of the Root Guru mantra, that you should be able to avert the coronavirus. It would generate such power. The fact that you cannot, that means something happened. The next question from Taiwan, Lian Hua Xi Peng. Compassionate Grandmaster Tasi Chiri. Your disciple Lian Hua Xi Peng lives in seclusion in the Da Xiong chapter in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Don't people know that you are Lian Hua Xi Peng? Why did you say that you are invisibly stay at that chapter? Does it mean that you have mastered Mariji's practice of invisibility? Or you went there and nobody else knew that you are Lian Hua Xi Peng? From the Da Xiong chapter in Kaohsiung. Question 1. Whenever I eat foods that have been offered to ancestors, gods, and Buddhas, immediately I would feel discomfort, but after bowel movement, it would be much better. When Grandmaster transmitted the Kalachakra Purba Tantric Dharma, you mentioned that Guru Padmasambhava practiced in the cemetery and also ate foods that have been offered. My question is there a way to alleviate this so that I can eat foods that have been offered to the gods, Buddhas, and ghosts? without violating the precept of stealing, so that I can energize myself from it instead of feeling bowel discomfort? Yes, there is a way. This is a good question. We all know that many people ask the Siatalichang temple to perform the ritual of the white rituals of chanting for the deceased. So all those offering items, were they eaten by the Sangha members? No. Oh, they were given to the food banks. Then don't you harm other people then? They are ordinary people, they are not ordained people. Actually, if you are spiritual cultivators, you're lay practitioners, you don't normally eat those, because food that have been eaten by the ghost, the gods and the ghost, their energy would be on the foods. Foods that have been eaten by ghosts or spirits would be contaminated by their qi. So they are rather unclean. But is there a way to transform it? Yes. You have to add one procedure, which is if you can eliminate the impure qi energy, whether it's for lay practitioners or ordained practitioners, monks or bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, upasakis, then they can be eaten. They can still eat those offering items after. So what is the way to transform it, to alleviate it? If you can use a cleansing method to cleanse those food, then they can be eaten. And how do you cleanse them? And like when we chant the purification mantras, we do chant purification mantras, right? So you chant the purification mantras and you invoke the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to bless those food, to purify them. Then you can eat them. After you complete reciting the purification mantras, then you invoke like Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, that her brow point radiates white light upon this food. That Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva descends and personally use his light to radiate upon the food, to cleanse the food. Then the bad or the impure energy on the food would be eradicated. Then you can eat it and you will not feel any discomfort. So if you want to eat the foods that have been offered, then you can chant purification mantras and then you invoke Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva or your yidam to radiate light upon the food to cleanse the dirty or foul energy. Then you can eat them. Nowadays, people invent that people can drink urine, pee. Why can't you drink it? Because in urine there's still a lot of nutrients that did not get absorbed. In Chinese, it's called the dragon returning water. So you can drink your own pee or urine, and the reference can eat their own shits or poo in Cantonese. Why? You know, the poo of healthy people, because the good bacteria of a healthy person would be on his poo. But you don't want to eat poo from unhealthy people. But a healthy person, a strong and healthy in body and mind, and what they poo is like a golden long poo. Then you can buy it to eat. And what good is it? You can use carbon to eradicate the smell, the foul smell first. But the good bacteria and the nutrients are still there, and you can eat a little bit every day, 3 times a day. Then your intestines will be healthy. So people nowadays do research on this. Why do people want to eat poo? That eating poo can make your digestive system, intestines, to become healthy. Because after years, the intestines filled with rotten stuff. But after taking in the good bacteria from the healthy person's poo, then you can adjust your own intestines. It makes sense, right? Because the poo of a healthy person or shit, there are good bacteria on it. So the excretion actually still has some good nutrients, and you also take in the good bacteria, then your digestive system will become healthy. That's the theory. So you can cut it into pieces. And every day, like eating sausage. So the food offerings to the gods and ghosts makes me think of eating poo and drinking pee. So although they are not normally eaten by human beings, but you can. That's a kind of transformation. You know, in Tantrayana, the pee is called the small fragrance, and the poo is called the big fragrance. So in Tantrayana, there are many people who drink pee and eat poo. As long as you know that's a true spiritual cultivator, then you can sell your pee and your poo. If you are a real cultivator. In Tibet, in Tibetan Tantrayana, a true spiritual cultivator, their big fragrance and small fragrance can be sold. Can be offered to the ghosts and gods. And the second question by Lianhua Shipeng. Recently, after chanting the Two Buddha Sutra, my abdomen feels warm, and at the Mingmen acupuncture point and the two kidney area feel warm. Sweat even forms at my forehead and chest. Grandmaster, is this due to the warming weather, which is normal, or is there anything I should adjust? Asked by Lianhua Shipeng. Is the weather warming recently? In Seattle, it's becoming cold. In Taiwan, it should be autumn too. It should be cooling and not warming. I don't know when you asked this question. So during the chanting, you feel your abdomen warm, that's a good sign. And then warm at the Mingmen and kidney areas, that's good. And sweat at the forehead and chest, that's a good sign. That's a normal sign. So when you chant the sutra until it becomes lucid, or you chant mantra until the mantra becomes radiant or luminous, and then the luminosity or clear light radiance is filling all over your body and generating warmth, that's a good sign. We are toward the late fall in Seattle, and I believe in Taiwan too. So if you feel warmth in your abdomen and at the Mingmen and kidney area, or sweat at the forehead and chest, those are all good signs and they're normal. Some people would experience that chanting mantra, some people chanting sutra, or practicing qi or breathing practice, or practicing the qi channels and light drops. Those can happen. Those are good signs. Today only questions by two people. Xiaoming asked his mom, a girl Xiaoming. Mom, if I marry a foreigner, can you approve? And mom replied, don't be silly. As long as you can get married, it doesn't matter. Not to mention foreigner, even if it's extraterrestrial, I would approve too. I believe this Xiaoming is the sister of the pig, precept pig. These few days, everyone asks, how long is the warranty for man after marriage? But the answer is simple. As long as it's being repaired regularly, then it would last a long time. There's a pigeon that shit on Dad's face, and he said, Xiaoming, get a tissue paper, quick. And then Xiaoming asked, but the pigeon flies so high, how can I wipe his ass? Actually, the dad wants to wipe his own face. That's why sometimes there's misunderstanding. And studying Buddhism, we should not misunderstand. The daughter told her mom, Mom, do you remember? I can live even if I don't eat or drink for 1 week. And Mom said, that's against the science. I don't believe it. And the daughter replied, then why don't you send me my living expenses? And Mom replied, I know you can win over the science. The mom is just so. Today we will continue to talk about Lamdre. Point number 7. The different characters of the 5 afflictions. Om character primarily assimilates into the feces, ambrosia, the great fragrance, which is pu, which generates ignorance. And our character primarily assimilates into the white body ambrosia, which generates greed. So the white body, okay, Om is on the pu, A is on the semen, which generates greed or desire. And Hom character primarily assimilates into the urine or P ambrosia, which generates anger. So, greed, anger, and ignorance or delusion. And Cha character primarily assimilates into the red body ambrosia, which generates pride. The red ambrosia is blood. And the Pei character primarily assimilates into flesh ambrosia, which generates jealousy, envy, jealousy. Pei character primarily assimilates into the flesh ambrosia. What is the? This is the big flesh, small flesh. Grandmaster was in charge of buyers to buy food, like a purchaser, to buy food for the military groups. So I went to the markets and I would buy meat, and the highest quality meat is more meat, and then the middle quality meat is half-half, and the 5-flour meat is mostly fat and less meat. So the ambrosia of is basically flesh or muscle, which has less fat, which generates jealousy. So we talk about greed, anger, delusion, pride, and doubt. So this generates jealousy and envy. So 5 kinds of afflictions: greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and pride. So 5 kinds of afflictions being placed at different places as characters. These are actually not important for us. You visualize your big, your poo, your pee, or the red body, the blood, and visualize the muscles on your body and place the characters there as the kinds of afflictions. It primarily talks about the placements of different characters and what it could generate. And point number 8, the 4 different 4R characters. The R character as the seed of the heavenly path, the R character of the wisdom, the R character of the essence, and the outer shape of an R character. Inside the body, there are 6 R characters. The above 4 plus the R character spoken by relying on the inside and the category R character. In sum, 9 R characters have to be selected. Anything beyond is without boundary. All these characters are primarily in the scope of Vajra body. According to the different scopes of the Vajra body and the different requirements of the various main texts in the Tantra division, say, the alaya consciousness of the mind relies on the habitual tendencies of the 6 paths. Vajra Tantra lineage asserts that the location of the 6 characters is at the navel. Chakra Samvara Tantra at the Lotus Palace, Guya Samaya Tantra at the opening of the crown. The 4 Tantra and Sambhuga Tantra asserts that the locations are at the joints inside the body. These are the different assertions due to the different goals of this Tantra. They don't contradict each other. So we use our character as symbols and where you place them. And that's a practice method of the Vajra body. And the 6 syllable that we can hear, they also use the wisdom also use are, the essence use are, the outer shape also uses are. 4 kinds of are. So are can represents the heavenly path, wisdom, essence, and outer form. Inside the body, there are 6 are characters. And the above 4, which I just mentioned, so this is in the scope of Vajrabody. So according to the different scopes of the Vajrabody and the different requirement of the various main texts in the Tantra division, the alaya consciousness, which is the 8th consciousness, relies on the habitual tendencies. The habitual tendencies also in the alaya consciousness. And the Hevajra Tantra, they say that the R characters are at the navel. Chakra Samvara Tantra is at the lotus palace, which is the secret chakra. Kuya Samaya is the opening of the crown, the opening of the crown right here. And the 4 Tantra and Sambhugara Tantra asserts that the locations are at the joints inside the body. Joints. These are the different assertions due to the different goals of this Tantra, and they don't contradict each other. So, Hevajras, Asakasamvaras, Guyasamayas, they're all different. And the 4 Tantras, they're all different. But they don't contradict. It's just their functions are different. So whether you want to memorize them or not, it's fine. In the past, my guru taught me that the R character is all over your body. They can be everywhere inside your body. Like the home character, sometimes they're all over your body. Like one of the 21 taras is the home sound tara. And she uses the home character and places it at the brow chakra, at the throat chakra. She places the home character at the heart chakra, at the navel chakra, and at the secret chakra. They are all home characters. And immediately our whole body becomes a huge home character. And these home characters can leave our body and being pasted on other people's body. The white home character being pasted on somebody else's body, then their calamity will be eradicated. And if you paste a red home character on somebody else's body, that person will experience love and respect. And if you paste a blue home on somebody else's body, then that person would love and respect you and will not obstruct you anymore. Which means you have subdued that person, so that person will not obstruct you anymore. And if you paste the yellow home character on somebody else's body, that person will uh, enrich himself and can buy lottery tickets. So that's the Dharma practice of the home character Tara. So the white one is to purify or help others, red one is to magnetize, and blue one to subjugate, and the yellow one is to enrich or to increase their good fortune. And yourself too can transform. The same with our characters. That you visualize the R characters at all parts of your body, all the joints, the chakras, the 5 chakras. So when you use R characters to fill all parts of the body, you yourself becomes the R character. And that's the practice of the Vajra body. It's the same with the home character Tara, home or R character, all the same. Om Ahom has, they all have the same function. In Tantrayana, Om Ahom is referred as the 3 character lucidity. 3 character lucidity. So when you practice the Vajrabadi, first you paste the R character on yourself, and then you transform yourself to become R character. So that's the meaning, the purpose. But different tantra have different application. For Vajra, Guhyasamaya, Chakrasamvara, Yamantaka, their placements are different. Their locations are different. Mom told Xiaoming, when you get off school, don't get left behind. But Xiaoming replied, but they don't want to walk with me. And Mom asked why, because they were afraid that the brother would kidnap them.
妈妈跟小明讲，小明，你看，妹妹考100分，然后你才考50分。小明讲，我是照妈妈的话做的。
Mom said, look at your sister got 100 and
你说，
but
我只要有妹妹的1半就好。
But Mom, you said that, that you said that if I'm only half my sister, that's good enough. That's why he got 50. Recently, there are many internet beauties and trying to find photographers to do a nude picture of themselves And I thought I'm only young once, so shouldn't I find a cameraman to do that and ask him, how can I get a photo of a nude picture of mine, but it's not pornographic? And the photographer replied that you should just find a forensic doctor instead. I don't understand. Do you understand? I know what a forensic doctor is, but why? The photographer asked her to find a forensic doctor instead. It must be the sister of the precept pig again. I went to a salon and the lady who did my manicure is very beautiful, and I asked her for dinner and movie, and the beautiful lady said, I'm married already. So I said, why don't you tell your husband? All you have to tell him is that you just get home a little bit later. And the beautiful lady said, hey, why don't you ask him yourself? He's shaving your face. Those are jokes. So that's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.